The H-6K is Beijing's B-52, a far-flying, fuel-efficient heavy bomber combining a simple, time-tested airframe with modern electronics and powerful, precision weaponry. Although to be fair, the B-52 flies much farther with more bombs and missiles. Still, over the vast Pacific Ocean, where the tyranny of distance prevents most aircraft from operating efficiently, the H-6K could prove to be one of China's most important planes in wartime. But the H-6K could have a big weakness, one that actually has little to do with the bomber itself. The Tupolev Design Bureau's Tu-16 was the Soviet Union's first big, jet-propelled bomber. Powered by two AM-3 turbojets buried in the wing roots, the subsonic Tu-16 could haul up to 10 tons of bombs, nuclear or conventional. With a standard bomb load and no aerial refueling, a Tu-16 could fly more than 1,000 miles before needing to turn back. The Tu-16, which NATO called Badger, proved to be a solid, reliable airplane, much like the United States B-52, which first flew in 1954 and, with lots of upgrades, is still going strong. But until the H-6K first flew in 2007, all of Beijing's bombers were still 1950s vintage Tu-16s in their guts. Swapping old engines and electronics for modern gear, the H-6K represents a huge evolutionary leap over the old Xi'an bombers. The H-6K replaces the original AM-3 turbojets, which one analyst called thirsty and maintenance-intensive by current standards, with much more efficient D-30 turbofans. Without aerial refueling, an armed H-6K can cruise 1,900 miles or so before needing to turn around, a big improvement over older models. Even more impressive, an H-6K that refuels in mid-air twice can reportedly range 3,100 miles from base while hauling 12 tons of weapons, including up to 6 YJ-12 supersonic anti-ship missiles or CJ-20 subsonic land attack cruise missiles, capable of striking targets 250 and 1,500 miles away, respectively. Supported by tankers, an H-6K armed with YJ-12s or CJ-20s could venture deep into the Pacific, hunting for American ships or even flying within striking distance of America's own main bomber outpost in Guam, some 3,000 miles from the Chinese mainland. But it's not enough to just safely fly that far. Long-range strikes, especially against moving ships at sea, require careful planning and precise targeting. The H-6K sports a new nose radome housing a modern air-to-ground radar, which might help guide a YJ-12 but undoubtedly lacks the power to spot targets for a CJ-20. It is not clear whether China has the capability to collect accurate targeting information and pass it to launch platforms in time for successful strikes in sea areas beyond the first island chain that is, a couple thousand miles from the Chinese coast, the Pentagon explained in its 2013 report on China's military targeting. More than the physics of flight and fuel consumption, is likely the current practical limit on the H-6K's reach, and thus its wartime usefulness to Chinese commanders. In battle, a long-range bomber is only as good as the intelligence that tells it where to strike. And when it comes to intel for bomber raids, China might not be quite ready to steer its new H-6Ks.